Ekko from Arcane. He is the hero that we don't deserve, but we have. And I would say that even though we don't see Ekko very much, that he's the hero that saves pretty much everyone. So let's put on our therapy hats and go through why Ekko is the true hero of Arcane.
There's so many of them.
It's all the fighting. We're gonna have capacity issues soon. And there's the security risk.
We're not turning people away.
All these years, we finally get rid of Silco. Just so a new one can take his place.
Ekko has all of the traits that make for a really exceptional leader. He's really humble. You would never even put him into that placement of he's this person that wants to be a leader. He's the leader that we really need because they don't have that thirst for power or drive. He does things because it's the right thing to do. And he's the kind of personality type that wants to protect everyone because people should be protected, not because it's something that he's going to gain for it or because he wants the notoriety. And that's the other part of Ekko that I don't think that people give him enough credit for, is he's really perceptive and he can figure things out really fast. He's brilliant. I would have looked at this pretty leaf and been like, oh, what a pretty leaf. But for him, he notices that this is something different. Something has infected the tree that everyone depends on. And then he brings it to the next person that he sees as one of the smartest, Heimerdinger, to be able to find out what really is happening.
I woke up in the wrong universe.
I've got you.
If it isn't Zal's royalty, my liege.
Please tell me you figured out a way to get us home.
I'm afraid hex tech was never invented here, and...
No anomaly.
No, it isn't all bad. I've been able to accomplish wonderful things in this world. Give it time to settle. This place will grow on you, you'll see.
So Heimerdinger has been here for 3 years, and he hasn't figured out anything. Yet, Ekko's going to be able to figure it out in a matter of days, maybe weeks. And the thing that he's done, that he's accomplished wonderful things, and I'm not saying that music is not a wonderful thing, is he's learned to play the banjo and sing a really good song. It's catchy. I wish I didn't love it. I love it. Heimerdinger seems to be like, I'm just good enough. This world is good enough. Let's just stay here. It's wonderful. But for Ekko, even though he sees all of these wonderful possibilities, this is the world that he wished he had and that he created, he still has this such a strong sense of obligation and duty to the people that he's left behind. He could live in this world just fine, which seems like Heimerdinger has done because he's been there for 3 years. Yet for Ekko, no matter what, he still feels that obligation that he has to go back. He has to help his people.
You gave us the tip. We went on that job because of you.
The job. That's why there's no hex tech here.
You should leave. Go, before I do something I regret.
Believe me, I'm working on it.
So he's only been there for hours. With the powers of deduction, he's already figured out that the reason that hex tech is not there is because of the job and what happened. He can figure out what Heimerdinger, who's like, I don't know, gazillion years old, has not been able to figure out. Now, I'll be honest, I think that for Heimerdinger, he loves it here. He's not really in that great of a pursuit to go back. For Heimerdinger, he's seen so many people come and go that perhaps his feeling of duty is not as strong. He enjoys learning and educating people and growth, but perhaps he's not as attached to people as Ekko is in his shorter lifetime.
You said I was your pupil. I need a professor. Better yet, a partner.
Oh, blast nozzles. How could I forsake a brilliant lad in need?
And when we talk about being the fox and the wolf, Ekko has that trait of understanding what will pull people in. He knows that Heimerdinger really enjoys teaching other people and bringing on his knowledge and people that look up to him for his knowledge. And so he uses that skill to be able to have Heimerdinger help him even though he doesn't want to.
The limit is 4 seconds.
Are you certain, my boy? What were the indicators?
One is I love that he's protecting Heimerdinger from finding out what happens to him. He's protective and doesn't want to hurt people's feelings, though he has a bit of Heimerdinger on his cheek. Anyways, I think that that's also a really sweet trait. To be able to lead people, you want to be able to make sure that people feel safe. But I think that because he doesn't have that amount of ego on his shoulders, he doesn't have to be a leader. He doesn't have to make himself seem bigger than other people. And that often happens with people that have a very secure attachment. And you could probably say that, but you know, he was an orphan, he was alone, one of the kids that were abandoned. And that often will cause difficulties in attachment. But for Ekko, he was one of the youngest, with a whole group of people that were older that loved and protected him. Because others are like a shield, those underneath that feel safe and secure because they have other people that are perhaps older or stronger to keep them safe. And for Powder, it would definitely be one, she had the person next to her, which was Vi, which sometimes she couldn't be there. And Vi being avoidant, she would often leave. Having different people going through different traumatic experiences like seeing your parents die in front of you can also change attachment types. Plus, we also would have to deal with what personality type you are born with. Everyone is born with kind of a different set personality type. And so because of that, different situations will affect you differently. So even if you are in the same parental or family group, you might grow up and interpret things differently than someone else just because of who you are.
Hey, in case I don't remember to tell you tomorrow, you've always meant the world to me, Benzo.
Oh. Well, you, don't get all mushy on me now. Hey.
Making the big man misty, are you?
These damned allergies!
A lot of times men have a difficulty to show affection to other men. I love that Ekko can have that moment to be able to thank Benzo and embrace him and show how much he cares. The ability, the emotional intelligence to be able to be vulnerable with someone else shows a great amount of trust. And especially when you're in leadership role, to be able to show care and affection allows other people the permission to do the same thing. That's why it's really important to have role models, but especially role models that seem similar to you and your personality type. We often align with people that remind us of ourselves. So to have people that seem like someone that you would be that is able to show affection will increase the chances that you will be able to show affection as well. And then the second one is look at Vander.
You should be proud of yourself, Ekko. Pat has been raving about your Z-Drive. Can't remember the last time I saw her so alive. I have the feeling that you'll be running this place soon.
Already seeing what a strong leader that Ekko can be because he's humble, because he's caring, because he cares about justice and doing the right thing, not for fame or fortune or power, but because it's right. Or powder, but because it's right. A little bit for powder.
There's a chance for us yet. You didn't think I'd miss your big day, did you?
Didn't you try to kill him?
Greatest thing we can do in life is find the power to forgive.
Now that I would say though, he is way too blunt. I think that he was just so shocked he couldn't catch himself. You shouldn't mention something that might put people off guard or make them feel uncomfortable if you're not sure of the situation especially. And sometimes you might want to put people off guard, but Ekko is definitely not one of the Machiavellian types. This seemed like one that he just happened to blurt out, not that he meant to in order to get the upper hand. Perhaps you could see Silco doing that though.
La compagnie, tu sais ce qu'on dit.
I love also that we get to see this moment of what could have been. I think that for Ekko, because he's such a visionary, to be able to see the possibilities from different avenues are really important for what he would get to bring home. He gets to see Powder in this beautiful light. But I think that that makes it so much more heartbreaking. And I think that for most of us, having these perfect moments would make that decision to go home so much more difficult. And the cool part is that the song that's playing is saying that my best enemy is you. The enemy that the person that I love the most is you. The person that I hate the most is you. And so we end up with Jinx and in this case Powder, and Ekko have had these clashes of love and hate, which often happens for some very intense relationships. But they end up having this dance. But I remember the time on the bridge where they had the clock where they used to play the game, and they had the battle that was exactly the same also. So there's a lot of mirroring that happens between both of them. And so that's that pull that Ekko has. He loves her, but also he's scared of her. They're in love, and they're enemies in a different place and in a different time. But that shows that the potential is there for both, which is very true. Often the people that we can love the most, if it goes badly, we could also hate them the most as well. The opposite of love is not hate. When I do couples therapy and I see relationships where there's a lot of passion in either side, there's still things that I can work with. We could actually fix that. It's when I feel nothing, there's no emotional content between people, that's when I'm like, this is over.
You ever wish you could just stay in one moment?
Sometimes taking a leap forward means leaving a few things behind.
I promise I'll never forget this.
You better not.
And that's what makes this part so heartbreaking, and I think it shows so much of Ekko's character, is that here is this perfect moment that he wants to stay in forever, but he could stay in it forever. He could choose to not risk himself, his own safety, and not go back. Similar to what Heimerdinger was saying and seems to want. Even though he has everything that he wants and dreamed of in this world, he still knows that he's going back even in this moment. He has such a strong sense of obligation and care for the people that he's left behind. He's going to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And people with that level of self-sacrifice are exceptionally rare. You could ask yourself, if you could have everything that you've ever wanted and dreamed of in a life, would you ever go back to another one where everything has been destroyed and you might lose your own life in the process as well? And to be so sure of that action, that you're going to do what's right because it is. I think that that's one of the traits that he carries that makes Ekko such a popular person.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Can we just pretend like it's the first time?
So this is the one moment that I'm like, I think he did the wrong thing. Yeah, I question this. This one did not seem like the right move. I thought that when he was gonna stop Powder, he was gonna say, listen, I just wanna let you know, I'm not from this world. I have to get back. I have to save my people, let her know. So she has the choice to kiss him or not. Because isn't he letting her kiss him under false pretense? She thinks he's another Ekko. Now you could say, but it's still him, but they're different personality types. They're different people. You can let me know what your thoughts are, because I get it. He's always loved Powder. He's always loved Jinx. So I do understand, and in this world, they're dating. Send it. I know we all wanted the kiss. I did too. But you can just send all the negative comments if you think I'm completely wrong about that.
Never a dull moment. I must say that since I've met you, lad, I've truly lived.
What?
After the kiss, he still doesn't have even a question, even a pause to be able to go. And I think that that's the other part that's really kind of sad, is that for Powder, she doesn't get to say goodbye. She might not have had the chance to be able to say goodbye to this Ekko. Am I the only one that thinks that Heimerdinger did that on purpose? Like he set all of this up so he gets to stay in this world because he really loves it and he's still playing his banjo? I do think so. That little moment of like goodbye where she gets to see the actual Ekko. I'll just say the really cool Ekko. She gets that little tiny moment, but
Powder? What happened?
Awkward? Like, what does she say? I don't know. You can let me know in the comments how you would handle this situation. This might cause some issues. I don't know how I would feel. I'm not sure.
Wait! I just want to talk to you.
Get out of here, Ekko.
I just...
And this is why I think that Ekko is the true hero of Arcane. The funny part is that he gets so little screen time, yet he truly saves everyone. Here he is saving Jinx.
I just want to talk to you about... Jinx.
The only problem that I have with this scene is that I don't think that what he said was momentous enough and mattered enough to be able to actually stop her from wanting to kill herself. Those kind of words that would inspire Jinx, that matter to Jinx, I know that you can do better. I've seen a different side of you, that you can be the hero that you need to be. They're in trouble and the world needs her. He can't do it without her. Those were the moments or words that I wished to have him say, and I didn't really get that. I'm sure that this scene was actually a much longer scene, but I think that a lot of the moments between Ekko and Jinx, now that we really wanted, we don't get. Because we don't get to see them working together, mirroring the scene of him and Powder working together on creating Hextech. We don't get to see the scene of them working together, painting their outfits that we know that Jinx painted because it's actually on his scarf, and gathering all of the fireflies and Jinxes, the fireflies and the Jinxes, and making them come together to rally the troops to be able to show up. Yes, I think it's a more powerful scene to have Jinx make an entrance as she loves to, but I was really wanting to have that moment together where they could re-bond and we could see a little, even if it was some of the screens or the picture frames of it really in fast succession, so that we can have that moment for ourselves also. That was one of my favorite moments. I don't know if you screamed, but I definitely did. And we get to see Ekko and Jinx working together, and that all of the fireflies have Jinx's colors. I absolutely adore this moment. I would say that this was a moment of distraction for Mbessa. I think that that one is a stretch. I think that it really was Mel and Caitlyn that worked together against Mbessa, but he definitely helped a little bit. So Ekko also saves Vi right away, know exactly where to be. The most strategic of things to crash the entire air balloon. In this case, it works. He definitely is really quick thinking, and it does save them. I would love to know whose swords are these and what powers they have. I'm sure that someone knows. Let me know in the comments. But he is able to really quickly see them, figure them out, know that he can use them, and goes right into action. He had a second chance for all of these moves, but he's able to process this information really quickly. He has that great art of deduction, and he's able to use it under stress, which is difficult for many people to do. When you've mastered a skill, you are actually better at deducing that information at that skill under stress than you are when you're not under pressure. For people that are new at a skill, it is the opposite. They need to concentrate and really think things through before they act. And that is why, if you really want to get good at something, you have to practice it ad infinitum so that you don't have to think, you can just do. He sees what's happening between Jace and Victor, and he can figure out that Jace is the key. He figures out on his own how to be able to wake Victor up. Sorry, but since he brought it back so far, does that mean that there's a Heimerdinger that dies? That's the first thing that I thought. Oh no.
That device can't be.
Yes, it can, because Ekko. And he did it on a different timeline. So here we have it. Ekko, in the end, saves everyone. He really is the boy savior, and I would say a true leader. I think that all of those traits culminate for someone that has very little time. He ends up becoming the true hero of Arcane. If you hate ads more than being stuck in the gray, or love me as much as Fi loves Caitlyn, and want to hear all those saucy words that you can't put in because YouTube, then get Nebula. You can also check out my Arcane Wednesday the Boys Last of Us All ad-free, sponsor-free on Nebula, just like all the videos on Nebula. That's the whole purpose of Nebula. It's a place where you can get high quality videos that creators can post early, post extended versions, post videos that would never work or be allowed on YouTube. Creators like Foreign Man in a Foreign Land, Matt Crawl, Extra Credits, Morning Brew with Dan Toomey, Patches, Tirsu, Stephen Bridges, who will teach you to beat the odds. I've been posting also my compilation videos like The Last of Us, the Jinx Saga, Vox Machina Season 1, all early on Nebula. I also have a course on how to beat anxiety. And you can also get exclusive originals like The Getaway, trying to make sense of the X-Men cinematic universe timeline, how they adapted Lord of the Rings, The Time When, and so many more. All ad-free, sponsor-free. So you can sign up using mine. Yes, please use mine exclusive link below. And if you love Nebula, which I fully believe you will, you can get an annual plan for 40% off. Yes, 40% at $36 a year or just $6 a month. And clicking on that link really does help out my channel. So thank you for everyone that does. And that's all early access, extended versions, all the courses originals from wonderful Nebula creators, just by clicking on the link below. You can let me know if you think that Ekko is the true hero of Arcane or not, and your favorite Ekko moments in the comments below. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video.